3 years ago, I read for the first time this book called In Praise of Slow. It talks about our addiction to hurry in our daily lives, and it made me realize how insane and unhealthy most of our lifestyles are. Everything is controlled by time, and not being busy seems strange. Being young and adventurous, and not really fan of burnout and depression, I decided to go the other direction just to see what would happen if I would slow down my life and not care about being busy. And yeah, my stress levels went down and I started to enjoy life more. But apart from those obvious things, I also noticed benefits that I really didn't expect to see.
The first one is that every experience became so much better. When slowing down life, I realized that it's very important to be present when you are with somebody or with a group of friends or basically doing anything. And what I did was I started to be much less on my phone and focus actually on the people and the activity that we were doing. This helped me to really learn how to listen and understand what other people are going through and what's going on in their lives. And in experiences that were not like human interactions, for example, me out for a walk, that became much more powerful experience when I was present in that moment and I learned how to use all my senses in that moment that I'm experiencing. And it was interesting like what happened in also like unpleasant things that if I, for example, had a work task, when I became much more present in that, I started feeling this peacefulness in that even though it wasn't the best activity I can think of, still I felt like, I kind of like this, and that experience became therefore so much richer. Very practical example could be watching a football game or a movie or something like this. When you don't have your phone and your notifications with you, you're fully like immersing yourself to the movie, to that experience. You are watching, you are noticing little details that probably you wouldn't have before if you're kind of half watching it and half thinking of something else. Second is that I saved so much money. I realized that I don't necessarily have a need for a car, for example, and cars can be quite expensive, to buy and also when you use it. So realizing that I can just, ride my bicycle as I rode here with my bicycle and on foot, go from a place to another and you use public transportation that in Finland here works very well. I don't need a car. I could have it. It would probably save me a lot of time and be very nice and practical and all that. But I don't necessarily need it because first of all, I mentioned that it saves a lot of money, and second, I can experience so many nice things on the way. And I also developed this kind of minimalist mindset that I don't need all the time new things in the house. I don't need new clothes. And as well, I understood kind of the importance of being environmentally friendly through slow living. So if I would buy something, I would buy it second hand, and therefore again I save much money. Like for example, now I'm wearing my partner's jacket, I'm wearing my grandfather's old Norwegian sweatshirt, second hand pants, second hand socks. I feel like I'm all second hand myself. And I realized I don't anymore need so expensive experiences in my life to feel happy. I don't need to travel to Dubai or eat amazing, meals in a restaurant. I can actually enjoy at home making first a meal and then eating it, probably much more because it's made by me and it's probably much cheaper as well than to go to a fancy restaurant and just eat it quickly or something like that. Third surprising thing that I learned was that I didn't anymore feel tired in the afternoons. This is something that took me a while to figure out like why this is happening, but I realized it comes from 3 reasons. One is that I sleep more. I don't anymore sleep like 7.5 hours, sometimes, but I usually try to aim for 8 hours. And that is not 8 hours in the bed scrolling the phone before for an hour, that is actual sleep for 8 hours. Second is that my sleep quality is much better. I go to sleep with a calm mind. I start my kind of evening routine a little bit before, and therefore I'm like kind of fading my day to the sleeping time. And I wake up with a relaxing morning where immediately I don't have to wake up fast and go to brush the teeth and rush out from the door to go to work or something like this. No, I have a nice, very relaxing morning routine that actually you can check out here if you haven't seen it yet. And the third is that I take multiple pauses and probably a couple of walks during the day where I just relax and I'm getting the fresh air and just being present. This has helped me to stay all day quite energized, and I don't anymore feel that crash, at 5 or 6 in the afternoon and I need to go to, bed under the blanket. No, I can really do so many things and be productive doing the things that I love for basically all day. The fourth surprising thing I realized, and this is actually very surprising, is that my creativity levels went crazy. I have, for example, never written poems in my life. I don't know basically even how to write well. in English or my native language Finnish. But suddenly I started to get these sentences and words in my head, and I just started to write them down. And I realized, actually, this is poetry. I'm writing poems. I was just experiencing things around me and writing those down. And I'm sure that wouldn't have been possible if I wouldn't have this calm mind. I started to see art in a completely different way. I before didn't see it at all, or many times even the beauty or what the artist is trying to, communicate with this. But suddenly I could see the beauty and the message behind that piece of art. I became crazy inspired to create videos. It's insane. Like currently I have like 100 video ideas ready that I could create. I just don't have the time to create all of them. But it's really interesting, like once you slow down life, when you get calm mind, how many things you can realize and how you can see life completely different way. It's like before you were in a foggy field and you cannot really see much. But then when you live slow lifestyle, it's like sunny day, and you can clearly see what's ahead of you. You can experience so many different things. I realized that life is so long, but also that I'm mortal. And what this means is that I'm in my 20s. I don't need to all the time worry about keeping up with the Joneses and think what other people are doing and try to copy them and try to, make it and be successful and all that. I have so much time in my life still. But here's actually the catch. I don't know if I have much time in my life. So therefore, I became much more grateful for the day that I have today. I realized that every day is a gift, because not everybody woke up today. There were people that didn't. There were people that anymore cannot experience all the beautiful things that they could before. And this means that I have to enjoy today. I don't care about enjoying it in 50 years or when I retire or next holiday or whatever. I need to be able to enjoy life now. And I'm so happy that slow living has been able to give me this knowledge that I understand it, and also give me the sense of fulfillment and happiness to enjoy the little simple joys of the day, like for example today hearing the birds, or being able to come here in the nature and sit and talk with you, communicate with you, all these things. If you want to know how I ended up here in this exact spot making this exact video, make sure to check this video next. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. Seve signing out. See you in the next one. Ciao.